Today on the Pinstripe Chronicles, we're going to be breaking down the Yankees' victory over the Oakland Athletics, the return of Giancarlo Stanton to the starting lineup, and of course, the bad news of Nestor Cortes hitting the IL. All that coming up right here on Pinstripe Chronicles, so keep it locked in on Northeast Streaming Sports. And good morning, Yankees fans and baseball fans alike. It is the Pinstripe Chronicles. Rob and Donald here for you this morning. And the Yankees, with an absolute just a blowout of the Oakland Athletics. It was nice to see. It's about time the offense broke out. They erupted 13-4, the final score. Giancarlo Stanton comes back to the lineup and immediately has an impact. Everybody contributed, everybody getting in on the fun. And the Yankees, for the first time in what seems like an eternity, had a very painless victory. So, Donald, give us your thoughts overall about the game. What did you see from Stanton? Did he look like his old self, or anything he needs to work on?
Big G, baby. I'm just so happy Big G's back. You can see the difference it's made to the lineup. It's already lengthened the lineup already. When you consider that DJ LeMahieu is going to be involved probably tonight, the lineup is significantly increased. And Cabrera had a big night, 3 hits. He's been showing off his amazing glove, +6 DRS, which is absolutely insane. And you're going to add that he's getting 3 hits as well yesterday. It's working out well. I'm really happy to see Stanton back in the middle of the lineup. I like the fact that he was protecting Aaron Judge. That was big. And I think it's made a difference already. Judge will start getting more fastballs. He's at the lowest percentage of fastballs since Stanton's been out. No one's really been pitching to Judge. Now people are going to have to pitch to Judge. Because if you don't, then they got Stanton following up. And we saw the damage that Stanton did yesterday. 3 RBIs in his return. So it was a positive day, and it was our first blowout since Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's been a while, and the whole lineup produced. But you talked about Cabrera, but the bottom of the order in general. I mean, Torres 2 for 5, Donaldson was 3 for 5, Cabrera 3 for 6, Trevino had a couple of hits, 2 for 5 with an RBI, and IKF drove in a couple of runs. He went 2 for 4. So the bottom of the order might be the group that benefits the most from the return of Stanton. If you're going to talk about Judge, obviously he's going to benefit, but now you can't really work around the top 3 or 4 guys in this order. With Stanton back, everything gets lengthened because Benintendi's hitting well. You got Judge, you're gonna have to pitch to him. When LeMahieu's in there, it's going to be more difficult to navigate this lineup. The top 5 looks scary, and you're going to have to try to navigate through that bottom half. So if Torres or Donaldson, and now we're seeing Cabrera put up very good at-bats almost every single time he's out there, it's really going to help this lineup. It's going to lengthen things. And if we can get back to the way they were performing in the beginning of the year, where you were able to survive IKF's, kind of slow not slow, but soft contact, but still able to get things done, he was doing just fine. The lineup was doing just fine. And that was when it was at full strength. So just getting Stanton back does so much for this offense that we desperately needed it, because Stanton was hitting 110 miles an hour off the bat. It's just like he never left. So, yeah, it's such a breath of fresh air to see the offense put this kind of performance out there. It was against Oakland. They're a bad team. Kaprielian looked rough right out of the gate. We got to him early, got to him often. But these are the kind of games you have to have these performances in, because last time we played Oakland, we didn't really do this to them. It wasn't easy. So this was beautiful to see everybody just coming through.
It was also great. A lot of 2-out hits, a lot of 2-out RBIs. Another thing I loved, no home runs.
Not a single one.
Not a single home run. So we were just driving in runs in other ways. And that's been my big complaint about our offense, well, all summer long, is we've not generated any runs without a home run saving us. And now we've put up 13 without needing one. So that's really good if you're looking for positive signs, because that's all we pretty much won the division, right? It's all about looking for positive signs to look for in October. And that is certainly a positive sign. If you can score 13 runs without any of it being a home run, that means that you're generating other ways of scoring. That's a really good sign.
Yeah, you need. We had 4 doubles in total. Donaldson had 2. Cabrera and Trevino had the other 2. So you're getting extra base hits. They're getting runs any way they can. There were some sac flies, some singles. But when you put up 13 runs for this offense to not hit a home run, that tells me that they're just maybe they tweaked their approach a little bit, because we saw when they were struggling, they were swinging for the fences. They're like, we got to get out of this slump and we got to get one over the wall to get us feeling good. And it didn't work. Now they had a very simple approach. They said, well, if you're going to throw it over the plate, we're going to hit it. And this was what they were doing earlier in the year that got them the hot streak they were on. It got them to the record they were at, and it put them in the position where people were saying the Yankees are for real. When they were struggling for that, month and a half, 2-month period, you were seeing 2021 Yankee approach, which was just try to get it over the wall. They're still relying on the home run. They still lead the majors, but they were able to put up runs in different ways. Variety of ways of scoring was what was the key for this offense in the first half that we weren't seeing since the break. And now it's just been one game. You hope it carries over, and it's kind of that domino effect that they keep doing it. But this was more like the first half Yankees just putting up big runs. We've got some comments here.
Oh,
we got, with Stanton back, the Yankees will be able to get all the regulars tons of rest down the stretch, and that will only help come playoff time. It's coming from Mets fans since 1982. So, yeah.
Mets fan.
Thank you, Mets fan. We appreciate that. And Yankees are for real, still 3 games back of the Mets. You know what? We just beat you guys. We let you have your little celebration when you took us out last month. We just beat you. You were giving us a compliment, then you had to go and say that. You ruined it. You ruined the mood. We got something. I can't wait to hear the Yankees offense is back and Cole will dominate tonight. I need it for my fantasy team. Well, I hope he does, because we need to see a dominant Garrett Cole performance. Says if he's any team he's going to dominate, it's got to be Oakland, right?
Check in with a fantasy team, getting Garrett Cole in there. I don't know how many Mets I would have in my fantasy team.
I mean, I'd definitely have DeGrom.
Yeah.
Scherzer.
Marte. I'd have Marte. I like Marte. Always been a
probably have Pete Alonso in there too.
No.
Doesn't he lead the National League in RBIs? I mean, you want runs.
I can't stand that guy. I cannot stand him.
Look, I'll take him. If you don't want him on your fantasy team, I'll take him. Give me the run producers. Anyway, back to Yankees baseball, because that's what we're talking about here. Just an overall great performance by the team. Jameson Taillon looked good, only gave up the 1 run in 6 innings of work. But Greg Weissert, major league debut, wasn't a good one. We were very excited to see it. I'm not going to put too much on him. It was 1 game, but he just looked a little excited. And the numbers obviously show that he was not very good at all. 15 pitches in total, gave up 3 runs, no hits. He walked 2 batters and only got 1 out. So a really rough outing there for Greg. What did you see when you were watching him?
Wasn't there a
ball? Was that? I believe he did, yeah. But just overall.
81 ERA.
Yeah, an ERA of 81. So that's like, I mean, obviously one good outing is going to change those numbers completely. But
and this was us. We were boosting him up yesterday. Remember at the end of the show, we're like, "Oh, guys, got to watch. He's got a wiffle ball, a slider, and it's like a computer game slide."
It was a wiffle ball, all right. Is DeGrom and Nestor? That's okay.
Well, that's a good segue, because we got to discuss Nestor.
We do have to discuss Nestor here. Obviously, 15-day or 10-day IL with a groin injury. I think it's one of those cases where they're just trying to get him rest, for being honest. The rotation's already been adjusted. We'll see Cole, we'll see Herman, and I think Clark Schmidt this series. But what do you think about Nestor? You think it's just rest, or is he actually hurt?
Well, he is hurt, but I don't think the Yankees are overly freaking out about it, because they actually wanted to give him an innings limit. He was already way past the point that he's ever pitched, So at this point, I think the Yankees would have had him skip a couple starts anyway. Now, with it, I believe it's a grade 2 groin. Now that tends to be between 3 to 6 weeks, but that's just me googling it. I'm not a doctor. Some people are quicker, some people are slower. It just depends on your body. But um, Aaron Boone said he's likely to miss 2 starts. I think that's very conservative. Um, I think we'd be delighted if that was only 2 starts he'd miss. But even if he misses 3 starts, I still think it's okay. I mean, if the Yankees were a couple games back, I would be concerned. But the fact that we've built up kind of a lead again, I expect us to do damage against this awful Oakland team, absolutely abominable Oakland team. And sweeping the Mets certainly helped us gain a little bit more confidence that we can rest him. I'm excited for Clark Schmidt anyway. He should be our starter, so I think we'll be okay, but only in the short term. If this is like a situation like, remember, Garrett Cole was still carrying an injury when he got into the playoffs, and it affected him. We don't want that. We want Nestor 100% because the injuries will start piling up now, and we've certainly got more than we want at this stage. If he is significantly hurt, or if it's a couple months, then we're screwed. We're finished. We're done. So we do need Nasty Nestor to get healthy, but I think if he misses 3 starts or something, I think we'd be fine.
Yeah, you want him 100% absolutely, because we know, like you said, with Cole last year, was dealing with the hamstring. It was clear as day he was still hurt, and it was plaguing him down the stretch last year. He was terrible in his last few starts, and then obviously in the wild card game couldn't get past the second inning. So it was brutal. So we don't want that happening, because Nestor right now is your number 2 starter behind Garrett Cole. Ideally, it'd be Montas, but with the way Nestor's been pitching, he's been our best pitcher all season long. We know Cole would be a game 1 starter, and Nestor's probably getting the ball game 2. So you want him healthy, especially if you're able to win game 1. I don't want to think too far ahead, but with an injury here, you can't be – you got to be cautious, because it's basically September. You need Nestor Cortes healthy. You need him to be there when the playoffs start, because we know how good he is. It's not a fluke with him this year. It's not a fluke. He's been really, really good since July of last year, and he's only gotten better, in my opinion. He's getting more length. He's learning as he pitches. He's finding ways to get outs, whether it's weak contact or the strikeout, whatever it is. He's getting the job done. He's been a legit top rotation guy for us this year. So, yeah, the injury sucks. I do think it's more precaution than anything, because he seemed okay after his last start. He wasn't talking like there was any sort of injury.
It's not like he was limping or like he was physically in trouble, so that's like probably a good sign.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to lean on the side of optimism here.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, let's knock on some wood and hope that he's all right. We got another comment here from Mets fans since 1982. Serious talk. What do you think about yesterday's lineup? Do you plug DJ in the 4-hole when he is in the lineup with Rizzo in the 5-hole?
Great question. Rob, you go first.
I don't know, because I like DJ either in that 2nd or 5th spot. I feel like those are 2 spots in the lineup that can really benefit him, because you don't want to take Judge out of the 2 right now. But if you do, LeMahieu is better than Benintendi in the 2 spot. So you want to put DJ there if you move Judge back. If you want to keep Judge in the 2 spot, you still want to have that lefty break up the righty bats a little bit. So that's where I think Rizzo goes into the cleanup spot. I know you want Stanton protecting Judge, and that's a great point. But you might have to shift the lineup alert. Do you have DJ bat 6th? I think DJ is ideal in that 5th spot or that 2nd spot, but we know they like Judge in the 2-hole, so I think they're going to put DJ 5.
Yeah, I want Benintendi leading off. That's a certainty. And I want Stanton protecting Judge. That's a certainty as well. I think the way that they had the lineup constituted yesterday is perfect. I would have LeMahieu bat 5th as well. I think the way it works with Benny from the Bronx leading off, Judge 2, Stanton 3, Rizzo 4, LeMahieu 5. I think you're in good shape. The other way around would be, as you say, I would have Benny from the Bronx leading off, DJ 2, Judge 3, Stanton 4, Rizzo 5. Do you want Rizzo as low in the order? Perhaps, I don't know. Those are the only two. Those are the only two I would go with. I would probably go with because I'm old school. I like having two kind of leadoff type hitters at the top anyway, just kind of like what the old Yankees did. Well, the old baseball used to do. But because it's new school and you want more at bats for your best player, then I understand Judge batting second. So if that was the case, then I'd be happy with the format.
Yeah, I think there's a variety of ways that you can construct it, but I do think Boone wants to keep that top 4 at least untouched. So I do think DJ batting 5th is the move they'll go with, because then that basically drops Torres or Donaldson, whoever's playing on that day, down one spot, and then you have the 7, 8, 9 Cabrera, Trevino, IKF. So that's basically what we said yesterday with some variation.
IKF's good in the 9. I like IKF in the 9. It's like kind of like a secondary leadoff hitter. Bottom of the order.
He's fine in that spot. He's absolutely fine in that spot. We know what he is. He's just going to get you singles, and in the 9 spot, that's fine. But when you look at him to try to be,
with the bases loaded are terrific, by the way.
Which is very surprising. Of all the people you think that would come through, he's been very, very good. I forgot what the exact number is, but he came through again yesterday.
I think I read it was like 14 for 17 or something like that. It's actually crazy.
That's nuts. Good for him. Good for him. Because IKF's been a guy that has been hit heavily with criticism. We know we all want Peraza. We want to see Peraza. We don't think IKF should be locked in to that starting spot no matter what. However, he has done exactly, and I've said this plenty of times before, he's done exactly what's been asked of him. He's played the defense that you'd expect from him, because he's not a Gold Glover at short. He's a Gold Glover at third. He's below average defender at short. That's what he's been this year, and he's a soft contact hitter. He's going to get singles. That's what he's done so far this year. So I can't complain with IKF's performance.
I certainly don't want to give the wrong information. I'm going to fact check the exact.
And while you do that, we do have another comment here. I think DJ gives Stanton more protection than Rizzo does. At this point, probably, because Rizzo has been struggling for quite some time. Rizzo's numbers have dropped a little bit. The power hasn't been there. He had that great month of April, really struggled in May, bounced back in June. July was kind of a mixed bag. In August, he has really struggled as well. So at this point, LeMahieu as the protection for Stanton might actually be a better case. I just don't think Boone's going to have those 3 righties one after the next. If he does have LeMahieu as the 4-hole behind Judge and Stanton, that's going to really lump up the righties, and then you have Rizzo bat 5th. You can, they could try it. What do you think about that, Donald?
Man, I agree, man. I think that's another alternative. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I gave it was actually, I think he's 6 for 9, not 14. 6 and 9, but still, it's amazing.
You were good. You're on with the hits and at bats.
He's batting 700 with the bases loaded. That's what it was.
700. That is impressive. The fact that he's had 9 opportunities with the bases loaded kind of surprised me. 6 hits in those 9 at bats. That's good. I will take it from the 9 hitter. Absolutely, I will take it. So good on IKF. I'm happy for him. But yeah, it just a feel good game because we haven't had it. You know, like when was the last time we could say
DJ gives Stanton more protection? Yeah, I think that's a good point. Thanks so much for the feedback, by the way. We really love the comments. Just keep it up. Really appreciate it. It's great.
That's the whole point. That's why you go live. That's why we're going live. We want to get some interaction, talk baseball, even if it's with a Mets fan. You know, get some good conversation here with the Mets fans. So what else? Was there anything else in the game? Yeah, there are a few good ones out there. I'm sure the Mets fans say the same thing. There's a few good Yankee fans out there.
Like us.
Like us, yeah. Like us here at the Pinstripe Chronicles. We're down one person. Bobby Tats got some stuff to take care of today, but he will be back soon. But yeah, we're a few of the good ones out there. Now, back to the series we got here, because we do have Garrett Cole. Obviously, no Nestor. do we think Garrett Cole comes out there today and just shuts them down, or God forbid he has another one of those rough innings? What are you thinking for Garrett Cole? Is this a prove-it game for him because it's against a bad team? If there's anybody he has to go out there and dominate, it's Oakland, right?
100%. If he struggles and loses this game, oh my God, the fans are going to be on him. Like you know what. So he needs to have a good showing, man. He needs to go 7. No question about it. Yeah, he needs to be very comfortable. He needs to cruise through it. And the biggest thing with Garrett Cole, as I say, is the meltdown innings. Because he's usually great for 5 innings and then just melts down for 1 inning, and then you're like, and it ruins his box score and it ruins the game. So as long as he avoids that, he'll be fine.
Yeah, avoid the bad innings.
It's just focus. I think this thing is focus. I don't know what it is. I mean, you need like Sherlock Holmes to figure out why he's struggling for that 1 inning, because I can't work it out because his stuff is there. It's not like his stuff isn't there. If his stuff wasn't there, then I'd have more of concern, but it generally is. But I just think that things snowball with him. So avoid the snowball and you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You've seen so many of his starts where it's like he's unhittable, and then he's hittable, and then he's very hittable. And then next thing you know, you're staring at a 4-0 deficit, and you're like, who is this guy? How is he getting paid $36 million? The game against Seattle where he gave up 6 in the first, you're like, this guy doesn't belong in the major leagues. And then he goes and looks completely hitless. He looks completely untouchable the next 5 innings. And you're like, where was that in the first? So you kind of sit there and you scratch your head, and you need a detective like Sherlock Holmes to figure out what is going through his head in those bad innings, because it's usually him that has it. He's 9-6 this year with a 3.41 ERA, 189 strikeouts, 37 walks. I mean, you look at that strikeout to walk ratio, and you're like, that's really good. And you look at the ERA, you're like, okay, it's not terrible. But when you think about who it is, it's Garrett Cole. You're like, that needs to be lower. It needs to be a lot lower. And those bad innings have really plagued his ERA, because obviously you can't take away the bad innings, but if you look around those blow-up innings, he's been Garrett Cole. Like you said, the stuff is there. The fastball's touching triple digits. The spin is there, sticky stuff or not. The spin is there. The breaking stuff is there. He just cannot avoid those bad innings. And, oh, no, not the hot dog talk. I had nothing bad to say about Yankee fans until I saw the Yankee fan drink. Look, we don't claim him. Okay, we can't claim this guy as one of our.
Can't claim all Yankee fans. I mean, it doesn't tell a story of all Yankee fans. Just like not all Ace fans go and find extracurricular activities when they go to ball games.
Right. And there was still nobody there yesterday. The Yankees were in town, so we talked about.
There was 10,000 fans, which is actually more than they've had in an entire week.
Look, the obviously that video of the Yankee fan with the hot dog, because that could be interpreted another way. The Yankee fan with the hot dog is going around the internet, and it's disgusting because, first of all, it's a hot dog. Why are you drinking through a hot dog? And then, secondly, don't do it. I don't even know. We don't claim him. He's not a fan. I don't know who he is. Should kick him out of the stadium. Ban him. For
why
life.
don't we just go get a straw? I mean, there's vendors everywhere, straws everywhere, there's millions of them. Just go and pick one up.
He's protecting the environment. He's trying to be environmentally conscious by drinking through a piece of meat. I don't know what's going through that guy's head, because it's a hot dog. It can't taste very good.
Oh God, no! I can't imagine.
Take his hat away. Yeah, take his hat away. Take his ticket away. Take his privileges to the stadium away. After that, put him in a cell. We don't claim him.
Cell's rough, man. That's hard. Maybe not a cell.
A couple of days. Let him think about what he did. Drinking something through a hot dog. What's wrong with you?
I think he's got major problems. Like, there's no way he must be having a bad day.
He had a straw. He chose to use the hot dog. Oh, was that what he was?
That's even worse.
He was making a hole in the hot dog with something. I guess that was the straw. Put him in a cell. I didn't even notice that part.
Yeah, maybe he does need serious therapy.
I think he needs a holding cell or something. Just a couple of hours. Think about what you did. We're going to leave you here. taking away your privileges. You're not watching. Maybe he was the good luck charm. I don't know, because the Yankees have been winning ever since that came out. Maybe the guy using the hot dog as a straw is our rallying cry, like the thumbs down dude from a few years ago.
Yeah, here I thought it was Aaron Boone banging on the table. Maybe it was actually the straw guy.
The hot dog straw guy.
Thank
So
you, straw guy.
Make a shirt of it.
Salute.
He's the new mascot. Oh boy, what are we doing here? We've got a few minutes left. Is there anything else that we may have missed from the game yesterday? We're going against JP Sears tonight, so that should be fun.
Oh, I'm sure that'll go well. Because if JP Sears wins, can you imagine what the Yankee fan base is going to be like?
Well, about 96% of them didn't know who he was until his first appearance this year. And he's that kind of player you trade when the value gets hot. We got Montas for him, so I think in any day of the week you're taking Montas over JP Sears. I love Sears. I like what he did for us. I
would. It was still a great trade. I think it was a really good trade. But, we'll see. I'm excited for him. I mean, remember, we played Caprillion. That was interesting yesterday.
We did beat up on him. We got a comment here from Michael. Yankees need to sweep Oakland and Angels, then they're officially back. Yeah, I mean, maybe not necessarily sweep, but I think we should sweep Oakland. The Angels, we always seem to struggle with over there on the West Coast, and it's never out of the realm possibility that Ohtani just hits a couple and it costs us a game. So I think you just need to win the series because we are bad on the West Coast, very bad. So if we can just...
Traditionally, we suck against the Angels. That is traditional. I'd maybe grant them one game, but we certainly need to destroy those teams in general, and we have to sweep the Oakland. Anything less than a sweep will be a disgrace. Have you seen their payroll? My God. It's absolutely crazy. The entire team's on minimum wage.
Angels suck, though. And then Yankees own the Angels, though. Well, on the road, not necessarily, because we are very, very bad on the West Coast. That's just since this whole window has opened, the Yankees have been very bad on the West Coast. I'm hoping that changes with this trip that we're on right now. Are you guys more concerned with the Blue Jays making a run at you guys or the Rays making a run?
Great question.
We got a few minutes left here to discuss that one. They're both difficult because the Blue Jays offense can put up 17 in a blink, and the Rays always seem to find a way to shut us down when they need to. So
yes, poison. It's kind of like obviously the Jays are sensationally far more talented than the Rays are. The Rays don't really have that great a team. It's just all about management with them. Their management is always terrific, and whenever we face them, we struggle against them. But I would rather take on I can't believe I'm saying this, I'd rather play the Rays than I would play the Jays because the Jays have that kind of talent. But they're also really weak defensively. Bo Bichette is the worst defensive shortstop. And that's a good thing for us. If we matched up, I think we'd beat them up defensively. But offensively, they can match us, and that is a problem.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there because, like I said, Toronto's offense, they're good. The Rays have struggled this year with the bats. Yeah. Their pitching can do the job. But I think if we're going to get into a pitcher's duel with any team, I'd rather it be Tampa because I feel like we can squeak a couple of runs across and get the W at the end of the game. Where if it's Toronto, you never know because
they're always a Vlad Guerrero at bat away from changing a game. So we avoid that at all.
Avoid Vlad. Avoid Bo. Avoid pretty much the entire team if you can. We have struggled on the West Coast in the past, but we're playing god-awful teams, and they're bottom feeders.
Yep. I mean, you're right, Mike. We have to do our job. So.
No, we're not saying they shouldn't win, obviously.
Oh, yeah, we're going to win.
Yeah, they should be right there with the Dodgers in terms of best record in baseball. You're absolutely right. But I think we've covered pretty much everything we can here today. It has been great conversing back with Mets fans, with Michael, Jay, talking about Greg Weisert's awful debut. It was pretty terrible, but that is going to wrap it up For us here at the Pinstripe Chronicles, it's been Rob and Donald. You'll see Bobby Tats back again on Monday. And be sure to check out the Upper Deck on Sunday. Wear your pinstripes for pride and play hard.
Thank you so much, guys.